Abusia Newz no any gusoye opinion na court. He has been disgraced. Whereas then in fact credit a joy news omo ayade pa. Conflict script ni na no e omo aswe and a pa script no the free. Na script no maybe project script no ato screen so. Na onsun komodidi ni koso no na wakan script no na wahu de dem koso ewo the course Supreme Court ene answer na ruling ne ba say breaking news or much throughout asem no na in the Supreme Court of today no the judges Bafuboni ne Justice Kolendi good anyone akatanazan question Godfred say show us the clause in the article 147 where it states the timeline for notifying the CJ that a petition for her removal has been received. Supreme Court panel challenges that me say show us the clause in the article 146 clause or article 146 me say and he find a can say your timeline be I did notify CJ say petition ye di be you know every hono ni sa aka yes abusia wailing sema a course with Supreme Court anti scripting that so anti there's a Supreme Court panel judges a year senior judge a year otene dwom ene eye Bafuboni ene Justice Kolendi ne wana aka no e kwhye a year yira Godfred ame there's a wono ene wa meter ye pa say on Cheromo in article 147 clause ben and the church say where is Jabusian Berubesia, God bless you, stay connected. In script in that so yenti a year what transpire in court today. God bless
you. Objections were ruled and the president, the committee is not indicted from going forward.
I think the decisions of the court today really confirms what we have been saying all this while, that there is no legitimate, legal, or constitutional basis for all these processes that the former Attorney General has filed on behalf of the Honorable Assistant. Today you notice that even injunctions, they had 2 injunctions on the record, and when they were asked, they quickly withdrew one and allowed the other, which is clearly an abuse of the court process. To keep filing processes with the hope that one of them will stand is really not a good practice for a lawyer to do. But that is what happened. And as you follow the argument, the court have been insisting that what exactly is your concern? The right to claim to have been abused actually have not been abused because the Chief Justice has given a hearing. And there's no legal provision which dictates what time in the process the hearing should be given. So if you ask me, everything shows that there is basically the applications stand on no solid ground. And that is why I agree with the court that this was the right way to do.
But the court was not clearing that what he brought didn't have stand.
Yes, we are yet to see the reasoning. So when you see the reasoning, of course, then you will know whether the court basically dissented, the justices who dissented were dissenting because there was any basis for the reason. There are so many reasons why the court would dissent, but you were in court and you realized that the question was consistently put. What exactly are you alleging? What is the right that you are alleging? And to pile up a series of newspaper publications claiming that because newspapers are published that the president is attacking the judiciary, that is enough for the president to stop the process, or the process is unconstitutional because some newspapers are published. That cannot be a very strong legal basis. And you saw the attachments of newspaper publications, many of them. I don't think that a publication is a legal right or determines the legal right for anyone.
Okay, so for the decision that has been taken today, what does it mean to the process that is currently before the committee that is supposed to be there?
Well, it means the process will go on. The process will go on. The committee would sit, they would hear the inquiry into the matter. And of course, I have always maintained that the finding of prima facie case is not automatic that the Chief Justice or the person who is being, who is the subject matter of the petition has been removed. It is not at all. So it may come out that the Chief Justice, the petition has not been of merit, and the Chief Justice will be restored to her position. I am always surprised that people have concluded that the fact that Akroma petition is found, then it means that the Chief Justice automatically is removed from office. And you see, that is what actually motivates this petition.
All of these applications via Kelvin Center Sefwa.
Right, Marina. So let's start from bottom up, because this just happened. Like you have been spelling it out. The Apex Court in a 3-2 majority decision, and know this. There was the sentence by Justice Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu and then Justice Jehu. The three others who were for the decision were the acting Chief Justice Bafo Boni, Justice Amadou Tanko, and then Justice Emmanuel Kolendi. Now, prior to this, two other key decisions had been made by the Supreme Court. When the case was called, we noticed that there was a reconstitution of the panel hearing the suit in the matter. Three new faces, I should say, were seen today, and these new faces had to do with Justice Amadou Tanko, the acting Chief Justice Bafo Boni, and then Justice Emmanuel Kolendi. They replaced three other justices in the previous empaneled justices for this case, and that included Justice Samuel Siotu, whom you recall that at the last agenda, the court had to adjourn the hearing for unavoidable reasons, which we later found out that Justice Siotu is a member of the committee. Now, the former Attorney General, Godfred, he was representing the oath of a member of Parliament. He objected to this paneling by the court, in that he indicated that the acting Chief Justice, Bafo Boni, stands to gain from the removal of Gertrude Tokonu as Chief Justice in the event that it goes to the end of it and then she is removed. And so he was praying the court that Justice Bafo Boni recused himself from the panel. But the Deputy Attorney General, and this is Justice Shemsai, argued that his argument, which is the former Attorney General, Godfred, was misconceived, because if you look at the natural order of things as far as the Constitution is concerned, whenever the Chief Justice is absent, per the constitutional provision, the immediate senior-most justice of the court is one who assumes the role of acting Chief Justice. And in this instance, it was Justice Bafo Boni, whom we need to indicate that he's been at the court for 17 years, highest among all the others. And so he's only assuming his role as Chief Justice because he's the senior most, and it's not because he stands to gain in the removal of Gertrude Tokonu as Chief Justice. Now, after deliberations, there was a brief recess of the hearing, and then when they came back, the court unanimously dismissed or overruled the objection by Godfred Yeboah-Dame. And then there was a second objection, but this time around, this had to do with the reconstitution of the entire panel. And now I did indicate earlier that three new faces were brought to the fore in this matter. So, but this time around, Godfred Yeboah-Dame's argument was that the panel that starts on the case from the onset, right, which was presided by Justice Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu.
Right, Lord, I'm just going to hold you briefly, because we want to get quick reactions from constitutional lawyer John Quason on what it is that we've heard from the Supreme Court. Counsel, I appreciate that you could speak to us. Quite a lot that's happened at the Supreme Court over the last 2+ hours. First off, we're hearing from my colleague on the appeals which were made by the former Attorney General, raising concerns about the acting Attorney General standing to benefit, amongst many other things, from the ongoing processes in relation to the Chief Justice. Where do you stand in that argument, just quickly, on that argument which was made and was subsequently overruled by the 5-member panel of the Supreme Court?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for having me to the parties again. Injunction applications and with the experience from court, if an application is adjourned, I mean it weakens the purpose and then the reason for going to court. So
Counsel, unfortunately, I have to hold you on. Just round up for us. And so, quickly on reactions from Vincent Asefo and his lawyers, what have they been telling you after the decision of the court?
Well, Marina, so the former Attorney General, Godfred, he was not too pleased with the decision of the court and acknowledged the fact that it was a close decision. And so he talked about the fact that this means that a lot more has to go into it. And same with Vincent Asefo. Now, the full reason of the court will be out on May 21, and so they are waiting until then, and then they'll see what will happen from then onwards. And I need to add to it that you realize it was the second plaintiff in the matter, Emmanuel Osewusu. His case was struck out and withdrawn because he wasn't in court, and again, he did not have any lawyer to even move his application forward, and so at that point it just ended it there and then. You can listen to also Deputy Attorney General Senta, who was also reacting to the decision of the court.
Lord, we'll listen to them quickly, but I just want us to go back onto a number of the issues which came up. We know that on May 21, the court says they are going to provide their written or reasoned ruling on the substantive case. Is there any further pending cases, or this brings to an end all of the court processes seeking to challenge the ongoing process of Article 146 as we know it, and the constitutionally laid down processes to remove the Chief Justice?
Marina, so at this juncture, the work of the Council of State and essentially the committee has been spelled out for them, because with the decision in court today, they can move forward because of the dismissal of the impeachment injunction and then the objection. So they really have the green light. We do not have any impediments now. The case will now be, the committee will now finish the investigations, and then if anything, I should say the prima facie or whatever it is that will have to be done, we'll know if the Chief Justice will be removed or otherwise at the time.
Right then, Lord, thank you very much for those details. That's my colleague, Lord Edward Sare, as always, providing details right now, because we're just getting word that the police CID is addressing a news conference, updating the public on some very pressing matters. I just want to hold you, take viewers there right now and get details. Then when we return, we can have a full breakdown on everything that's happened from the court as well. Let's take you to the police CID right now.
The team recovered the following items from the scene: 1 Toyota Tacoma vehicle, 1 Toyota Tundra vehicle, 1 pump action gun with 17 live cartridges, 4 empty cartridges, and 3 7.62 39mm empty shells, 1 9mm empty shell, and 5 heavy-duty motorbikes. Preliminary investigation suggested that there was a confrontation between two groups over sand winning at the location of the incident. The bodies of the deceased were deposited at the police hospital mortuary for preservation, identification, and autopsy while investigation continued to get the perpetrators arrested. Through sustained intelligence operations, we have so far arrested 5 suspects in connection with this case. The suspects are 1, Samuel Achuforsin alias Alanyo. The second is Freeheart Kweku Sedonu. The third is Kesi Prince. And the fourth is Benjamin Ajaleko. The fifth is a gentleman known as 1 Million. 4 of the suspects were subsequently arraigned before the Osino District Court on 2nd May 2025, where suspect Samuel Achuforsin, Freeheart Kweku Sedonu, was Akroma in the Western region. And I must mention that this arrest was due to the diligence of the policemen who were on duty at that particular barrier. So we wish to commend them in particular for their vigilance and alertness, which led to the arrest of these people. Unknown to them, these people were people who were connected to this murder at Nsawam. They had allegedly or ostensibly been at the scene of that crime, and they were moving away, and unknown to the police officers on duty at that barrier, through their diligence of stop and search, when they searched these people on board the vehicle, 3 suspects, Hakim Imoro, Imoro Tahiru, and Nuruddin Wahab were arrested on board a Grand Bed bus, registration number AS443122, which was en route to Wasa Ikropong. So when their bags were searched and conducted on suspect Hakim Imoro, it led to the retrieval of a submachine gun and 21 rounds of ammunition. Upon interrogation, suspect Hakim Imoro disclosed that the firearm was given to him by his boss, called Forsen, who was in Accra. An interesting twist to this case is that investigation has so far established that the suspect Samuel Achu Forsen, alias Alanyo, who was arrested in connection with the murder at Asiyal, is the boss in Accra who was mentioned by the suspects in Bodie Wasa Ikropong. Investigation has further disclosed that all the three suspects, Hakim Imoro, Imoro Tahiru, and Nuruddin Wahab, arrested in connection with the Bodie Wasa Ikropong case, were also involved in the Asiyal murder case and were ostensibly absconding, but were arrested thanks to the vigilance of the Western Central Police. Investigation is ongoing and will provide updates as and when available. Once again, I would like to commend all the officers who worked tirelessly to connect the dots and made this arrest possible. I'd like to especially commend once again the officers of Bodie Wasa Ikropong for their vigilance and diligence which led to this arrest, which is a huge breakthrough in the murder at Asiyal. I would like to take this opportunity to assure the good people of Ghana that the Ghana Police Service remains committed to ensuring that perpetrators of crime are pursued, arrested, and brought to justice. And a word of caution or warning to people who don't intend to...
Police CID DCOP Donko providing details. Two separate murders, but police investigations arrested the separate individuals and have been able to establish the connection to the both of them. And so we're taking you from the my colleague Lord Idwasare quickly.